we're back. A bit of downtime. Unfortunately, not anything we can do anything about. Steam just has not been cooperative today, my friend. But we're just about ready to get our second game of our second series of the day underway. Fnatic taking on LGD, and well, LGD made short work of him in game one. Nothing else you can say. 17 minutes in. In fact, we talked briefly with Demon. He came back here. It was an outdraft. No other way to say it. And really, LGD just capitalized on it. Sub 17-minute win.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. And he was talking about how they try to draft a little bit more for Demon instead of just drafting normally. And I think they just stick with what works for them. And their stand-ins are versatile enough that they should be able to adapt to the way that Fnatic plays and not having to have the Fnatic's three main players adapt to the way the other two play.
Right, exactly. And still waiting on one of our casters who is looking to update right now. Looks like she just joined. And there we go. So let me make sure everything's set. And we are ready to roll. All right, so loading in now. We'll have the draft coming in just a moment. But again, just a reminder that that looking ahead to our third series of the night, the loser of this series will be going down to the lower bracket and will be facing elimination. It'll be a winner go home, sort of, well, we won't actually kick him out of the hotel, but winner stop playing situation. And the winner, of course, will advance to meet Vici Gaming, who got the best in a comeback victory of Alliance 2-1 after dropping that first game. And right now, that's the kind of hope that Fnatic needs to be clinging to. I mean, they got flat out ran in game one, but Vici kind of got run over in game one, too, battled back to win 2 in a row.
Fnatic right now really doesn't have anything to lose. They're playing with two stand-ins. It's not like their morale is going to be low just because, like, well, hey, you know, we have two stand-ins. We don't have our main players. We're just going to do the best that we can. And if they lose this match, it's expected, I suppose. So sometimes teams play best when they're not under any pressure at all. Right. And when they don't feel that pressure before, man, they can just play their own game, relax, and get in the zone that way.
Well, coming back to what you were talking about before, and again, Demon was the one who came back, talked about what had happened during the draft. The fact that, you know, they're playing with two stand-ins, they have very little experience playing together, and during the draft they said, okay, let's just try to get you a hero you're comfortable on instead of actually drafting a cohesive composition, and that just flat out fell apart. So
yeah,
looking
you don't draft for yourself, you draft to counter the opponent's draft.
Exactly.
Is what they need to do.
Exactly, and the draft now is underway, so we'll be moving in, and they'll be looking to avoid making that mistake here in game number 2. Already we can see LGD banning out the Alchemist and the Enchantress. Venomancer and Visage both banned out by Fnatic, and two very strong bans, especially considering the fact that we had a 17-minute Heart of Tarrasque on Zhao 8's Venomancer in game 1. How's that even happen?
I mean, Heart of Tarrasque is not the best build, especially versus Life Stealer, but I mean, he just does whatever. When you take like 7 towers,
oh yeah.
You can just farm any item. I mean, that's about the same cost as a Necro 3, too, so it's about whatever. I'm surprised that he got that item, though, considering what's at stake here.
Yeah. Nature's Prophet going to be the pickup for Fnatic. And we talked a lot during the draft and even throughout some of the play in game 1 about how Fnatic, when they have their core 5, they really like mobility-based lineups. They really like heroes like Io, like Nature's Prophet, and they even do some creative things. They actually, if there was one bright spot that came out of Fnatic's play in game 1, it was Demon's play. Demon in conjunction with the Nyx bombs and so on. They had some flashes of brilliance. They were just so far behind from so early that they never really had a chance to have the damage output they needed to capitalize on that. And if they can get things together and just continue to move as well as we know they can, they're going to be able to come out fresh here in game 2 and look to make a solid run. LGD grabbing up the first pick, Crystal Maiden, and a Doom pick immediately out for LGD as well. So gotta love the early Doom pick.
Yep, they banned out Doom last game, or Fnatic banned out Doom last game, and LGD will pick that right up. And Fnatic chose to ban 2 of the heroes that we saw in game 1 that caused them a lot of issues. Bane was an issue too, but more because they lacked disables and they also lacked 5-man. Yep. So I think that Venomancer and Visage is pretty solid. I mean, Zhao 8, he gave up first blood on top, and he had boots first, and he didn't really get that much farm, but he still contributed a lot just with his Plague Ward. So that hero, underfarmed or overfarmed, is just a pain in the butt to deal with.
And whenever you have an early Doom pick like this, there has to be an element of, well, if I pick X into this, Doom immediately counters. Heroes like Magnus, heroes that are very...
Invokers, Storm, Puck.
Exactly. any sort of an ability-based hero. So just in and of itself, grabbing the Doom up for the intrinsic value.
Big Skeleton King.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need buttons. It's fine. I right-click over and over again. They will go ahead and grab the OD, though. So Fnatic taking the early strong mid, and that creates complications of its own. Very hard to draft into an OD.
LGD's
but we did see a lot of success come from the Lone Druid matchup with OD in our last series.
Yep. They could also go with a Bristleback too. I think he's just like a very tanky hero, and it's nice to have tanky heroes versus Doom. It's like, well, who do I Doom? If I Doom Bristleback, whatever. If I and they also had the defensive Astral too to prevent a hero from getting focused down. They need to be able to survive against the initial Doom. They can't start off a fight 4-on-5, or they could just go to other route and just try and split push LGD and just go for their typical Rat Dota style.
So far, the band's moving along, and absolutely no more jungle dwelling denizens as the Chin joins Enchantress and bans out from
turn to ban.
We've seen No Tails play phenomenal on both of those heroes. Fnatic's going to go ahead and take away that heavy push kind of a emphasis that we saw LGD have in game 1 with the Pug and ban, also getting rid of the support in the Nyx Assassin. Now, I'm curious, whenever you look at OD and Nature's Prophet, both are very good in very certain situations, but they're kind of surgical. And we talked about this throughout our matches today. Sometimes you just need some AoE. Sometimes you just need some punching power, some AoE disable. And so far, Fnatic lacking that quite a bit.
You don't necessarily need it, though, if LGD doesn't have a 5-man lineup, not like last game. And I also think their bans are really good. Nyx Assassin does very well versus OD with his very high in, and it also does very good at shutting down Nature's Prophet's split push potential. And Pugna also shuts down OD, and it also plays well into LGD's 5-man style. So I think these bans are much, much better than last game, man. They're playing against LGD as opposed to drafting for Aoi and Demon.
Still waiting on our 4th ban out from LGD. Tough to tell exactly what direction they want to go. I mean, LGD, as we've talked about extensively, just a 5-man kind of a monster, and they're going to go ahead and draft IO themselves.
Fnatic's turn
not unheard of as it once was to see the Eastern teams pick up the IO. In fact, we saw a lot of it in our Eastern Division play. I shouldn't say a lot, a fair amount. But seeing LGD snag this up, take it away from Fnatic, who they actually banned IO against Fnatic in game 1. This time, though, using the value pick.
The Rubik pick, he's a squishy support, but he does have magic resist, and it will be useful to sort of steal Doom. But I mean, he doesn't have that much. Like, you're not going to steal EO spells. You're not going to steal. I mean, Crystal Maiden spells are like okay. I'm surprised that they picked them up this early. I think there are better supports in the pool right now, but we'll see how it fares versus them. Razor picked up immediately by LGD. It did not seem like they cared what they picked at all.
LGD's
and Rubik Lustra combo, I think that's a pretty good dual roaming combo. They had the Shadow Demon and Chen from last game, but they did, I guess, some amount of work with that. But Rubik and Leshrac, they can also apply a lot of pressure, too. Yep. If you try and push S5 with LGD, they can just counter push with Leshrac with his Diabolic Edict and Nature's Prophet with his Nature's Call. Last game, they didn't really have anything to threaten. Like Storm Spirit is not very fast at pushing. Shadow Demon also very, very weak at putting pressure.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. And that seems to kind of be the general buzzword with this draft is I see a lot of ways for them to dodge fights while still getting other things done across the map. And as you mentioned, there was a total lack of that. We saw LGD just group as 5, take a tower, run across the map, and take another tower as 5. And in all that time and all that space that creates, Fnatic was unable to accomplish much of anything. This time around, though, putting some tools in their toolbox that will allow them to punish LGD's aggressive style so long as they're able to keep good vision on the map and so long as they're able to keep levels and gold just about even. And that's kind of another concern I see here. I mean, Nature's Prophet is an excellent hero and does what he does. He's a +1 to any fight, gives you split push, and just gives you some late-game DPS if you want to go that build or you can go a utility build. But he does take some time to ramp up. And LGD with the Razor pick, that makes it very difficult to draft some sort of say a Life Stealer, or if he were available, an Alchemist, etc. Very difficult to draft a physical DPS hero into a Razor for that reason. And they've got the ability to start taking fights very, very early with Crystal Maiden strengths level 1 through 6, and Doom, of course, getting Doom at level 6.
Yep, LGD, I expect to put Razor mid versus OD. Xiaowei does like his Boots first Razor build, especially just to counter OD. And Fnatic, they actually have, both teams have completely ignored Clockwork. And I think that hero, he's decently strong. I think he would work well in either of these lineups just to catch one of the teams off guard and just to start the fight. Just because, like, how are you really going to start out the fight? I guess you can, like, relocate and you can, like, static link and run in. You can, like, doom and run in, but there's nothing really to, like, hold people in place. Right. I guess, like, maybe, like, Sprout, but Fnatic has a much better lineup at doing that. And going with the CK ban, there are a lot of other partners for Wisp. Fnatic themselves like to run Wisp and Tiny a lot. Wisp Gyrocopter also isn't bad. Navi tends to run that sometimes. Lifestealer even is okay. He can hook up with anybody.
Yeah, they're pretty wide open. I'm much more worried about Fnatic and where their options are. There's the Lifestealer pickup. Not a whole lot of surprise there, I don't think. And one of the fun things you can do with Lifestealer in conjunction with an IO is you can infest him into a hero and then tether the hero he's infested into and teleport to make it a 3-man gank instead of a 2. Makes it a little less risky to go for it. That way, if you are counter-initiated into or there's 1 or 2 heroes hanging around, it's at least a fair fight and not one where you're caught immediately on the back foot. Fnatic now most certainly going to be looking for some kind of carry potential, one would think. The Bristleback is still available if they wanted to go with something like that. Don't know. Yep, they're going to go ahead and take the Elder Titan. So not going to be having any hard carry potential, and I'm really interested to see how Fnatic's going to choose to lane this out.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't see the Lifestealer pick coming. With the Bane, with taking Razor themselves, it's a natural pick for them, although I guess they don't have to be worried about it that much. Elder Titan, he's like, okay, I think he works best in other minus armor with other minus armor heroes, but there's nothing on the side of that for Fnatic. I guess the minus magic armor, I guess, is somewhat useful if you want to drop an OD ult or something like that, but I think the majority of their damage is going to come from Edict, composite damage, as well as Sanity's Eclipse and Arcane Orb. Arcane Orb being pure doesn't get amplified by that, so I think there are better. Oh, it's actually going to be a mid Elder Titan, so that's a little bit different.
10 seconds.
Haven't seen Elder Titan mid in quite some time. Very effective there, so long as he gets off to a good start. Very easy to gank for the most part, though, if you're able to get the jump on him. That's my big concern, really, when I look at this lineup from Fnatic. It has the feeling of a thin lineup. In particular, 2 heroes, the Nature's Prophet and the OD, most notably. No-Tail is going to have to be on the spot with OD. He simply cannot fall behind. They are relying on him so much to carry them through the early game and on into the mid game. They just need him to have any chance to match up with LGD in teamfight situations, and also to make them a little leery of just going willy-nilly across the map with the IO +1 or +2, as the case may be, combos. So it's definitely a lineup that Fnatic is, I feel like the ceiling of execution is going to be much higher for Fnatic, and they're going to have to meet it. Otherwise, they could find themselves behind in a hurry, just like they did in Game 1.
Yeah, I was going to be like hasted for half the game too, with Boots and Unstable Current and Tether. He's just going to be able to sap so much damage from Static Link unless they manage to shut him down. Looks like they are trying to 5-man. Rabbit standing exact same position that Aoi was in last game, and
30
they will not be able to get an easy kill.
Rabbit spawning them out. They're going to go ahead and take that as their cue to exit. And looks like they're going to hang out and secure their jungle. In the meantime, as the teams break apart, the horn's just about to blow. And Game 2 of our D2L Grand Finals second series, our second and final upper bracket semifinal series now underway. Fnatic taking on LGD, trailing 0-1. Taking a look at who's handling who, we can see Fly, the captain. He'll be playing as our Rubik. Got to spot out a DD there.
Oh, they might kill DDC.
Yep, DDC gets the double damage deny right under the nose of Fnatic there. We're going to have No-Tail setting up shop here in mid on the OD. Again, such an important place for him to be. Really has to do well in this early game. Elder Titan actually not going to be taken mid by Demon. Instead, going into the off lane, he'll be joined by Aoi 2000 here on our Leshrac, and the Nature's Prophet going to be farmed in the solo safe lane by Trixie. On the other side of the river, we've got Zhao 8 playing on our Doom. He'll be one-on-one against the Nature's Prophet. Crystal Maiden will be played by DD, undoubtedly the MVP from Game 1. His Bane play really a huge catalyst for that huge win. Here in mid, it's going to be Yao matching up against No-Tail. He'll be handling the Razor. Razor, a great matchup, or one of the best against OD in terms of his strength as a one-on-one hero. DDC will be playing on the IO. We've seen that a few times. I want to say we saw LGD run DDC on the IO a few times in our Eastern Division. And Rabbit will be farming up our Lifestealer.
And Yao already off to a decent start in mid, 3-2 versus the 1-0 from No-Tail. No-Tail is going to have his work cut out for him, and I don't believe I've seen him play solo mid, but I think he will do okay in that particular role. But yeah, he's getting heavily LCS right now. Yao actually sapping damage. He is not going to have like any damage at all. There it goes.
Yep.
He's just going to let the full duration tick. He's sitting at 24 damage right now. How are you supposed to last it with that under tower?
This point, just playing it like an off lane. Soak experience where you can. So Yao doing quite well down here. Zhao 8 and Trixie going to be going one-on-one down here, so should be a good start for the both of them. Zhao 8 already a little bit ahead. Up at top, you can see Rabbit getting his nose out a little bit too far. We'll go ahead and rage just to guarantee his own safety, but Fnatic doing a very nice job with this offensive tri-lane.
Oh, there's a smoke from DDC and DD.
Let's see what they can do. Level 2 on both of them. And no Nova, only Frostbite for DD as he took his first point into the aura.
They're going to try and bait out Rabbit.
And there we go, open wounds on the Demon. And engaging right off the Split Earth off the mark. And Demon's going to be frostbitten down in first blood. Will end up going to LGD.
Or was 5 for that.
And doing their best to try and bait him out and succeeding in doing so. Fly nowhere near, just has to watch Demon limp back in the lane.
Split Earth also missed all 3 heroes, but he couldn't have hit the Rage Lifestealer anyways. But still.
Early on, this top lane not going the way Fnatic would have envisioned. 11-5 compared to 4-0, by the way. That's the current lead that we're seeing built in mid as No-Tail continues to struggle quite a bit. Zhao 8 sitting at 10 CS, and right on top of his heels is Trixie. Trixie's Nature's Prophet is actually really good. It's just not something that gets talked about all that often. They're going to go ahead and decide to take a path through the trees. They've got enough tangos to break through when they're ready. And here we go, Fly gonna go for it. They managed to grab Rabbit. Rabbit has a rage, will be able to get away. And DDC in range to go ahead and tether back up with him.
Yep. Is stand-in factor coming into play now because they weren't able to coordinate that telekinesis into Split Earth. And OD still struggling a little bit in mid, only 7 creep kills. He is getting over doubled the CS by Yao in mid. So Razor just dominating this lane on mid. And Trixie, he has an Orb of Venom himself, and I don't remember the last time I've seen this, if ever, on a Nature's Prophet.
I've seen him do it a time or two, I do believe. It's one of those things that, in this situation, you understand why. Just wanting to keep Zhao at arm's length, wanting to apply what pressure you can. The other lane's certainly not going very well. Top lane up, they're going to engage. Look like they were. Yep, they're going to rage and open wounds on the AUI. And he'll end up dropping because of it. Now Rabbit telekinesis back, but the damage isn't there to follow it up. Fly thought about chasing him out. Here comes Trixie teleporting in. Can they get the return kill? And they sure do. Now DD might be in trouble. DDC and DD both in no man's land. DD will get off the frostbite, being tether charged by DDC, and they Split Earth off the mark once again from AUI. So they managed to get themselves on the board, but can't help but feel like that might have been a missed opportunity.
Still, it was a nice kill to such a high priority kill on that lifestealer there. And yeah, they're forced to bring 4 heroes up there, but it's better than just keep on trading 1 for 0 and let Rabbit get super farmed up there. He actually went for an early Orb of Venom build himself. Xiaowei now has free reign on bottom lane. He's very, very close to level 6 and reaching that Doom. We see Phase Boots already up on Razor. No-Tail forced to go a bottle. Because he's just been under so much pressure in mid, and Xiaowei has already taken the regen rune, so no rune for you, No-Tail.
Fly has a smoke in his inventory. He's made his way over to the secret shop. We'll see where, if anywhere, he wants to end up rotating to. In the meantime, Trixie finally making his way back down into lane. He's level 5, almost level 6, has a set of phase boots of his own, going one-on-one with Zhao 8, who benefited a lot from that movement. He's halfway to level 7 now, and a set of phase boots of his own. So far, even though, obviously, giving up that death on Rabbit, not something they would have wanted to do, nonetheless, can't help but feel like LGD is going to feel like they won all 3 lanes at this point.
Yeah, Xiaowei can kill Trixie at any time if he pops out, though. So just Doom, Scorch Earth, and just phase boost your way to a kill. And there's not really going to be any rotation from Fnatic. Aoi does not have a TP scroll on mid. Rubik is mid trying to kill Yao, but with the Sandy's Eclipse, won't be a kill.
DD rotates in. The movement speed on the Owl just way too high. Sitting at 413 unfazed. Compare that to the 365 of No-Tail, or more importantly, to the 290 of Fly, who was trying to pursue him down from behind there to get the telekinesis, and just unable to do so. And that's a big part of what you were talking about earlier. You know, there's so many situations like that that should have been sure things, but because the hero.
Oh, Xiao 8 wrapping from behind. He was. No-Tail was heading towards the rune. If he tried to go for Illusion, he would have been doomed and just killed.
And Yao grabs the illusion. Another advantage going his way. Taking a look at the overall CS, we can see LGD benefiting quite a bit.
Oh, Xiaowei coming from behind.
And trying to track down No Tail. Lasso doomed and pursued. Trixie's there though, gets off the Sprout to buy some time. Might end up trading himself away for it though. And No Tail denied. And Trixie still being pursued, and Yao, caught with his hand in the cookie jar, ends up dead. Fnatic punishing the heavy over-aggression of LGD and narrowing that gap, make it 2-3.
You can tell that No Tail's not completely experienced at mid just because he saw Doom over here, and he didn't react until Doom was all the way up here. Generally, if you have vision mid and you're a mid player, you're very, very quick to react to that. It looks like Demon might fall to Rabbit and DDC on top.
And that will be the case as Demon caught out. And so far, laning phase continues to go in favor of LGD. We're just 7 minutes in, but we can already see, without a single tower down, already very nearly 2,500 gold in favor of LGD. That is actually huge. I mean, at this stage of the game, only 7 minutes in, to have that kind of a lead based on nothing but kills and out-farming your opponents, that's gigantic.
Yeah, DDC is almost 6-2, so they're going to have to start worrying about relocate too. We see a smoke gank in mid, No Tail, and Owie. Ooh, wow, nice courier kill by Trixie there.
Yep.
They definitely needed that gold.
Trixie sniping it down in their own jungle. Fly and Owie, though, want to continue to narrow that gap. They're going to rotate into the jungle, drop a ward. And Yao's actually going to move right up into them. Very fortuitous timing. Nice timing on the split earth. And that's as big a kill as they could have asked for at this stage of the game.
That's a great smoke gank, though.
A little bit of fortuitous timing. They'll take every bit of it. And with that courier kill and being able to pick off Razor, make a little bit of room now for No Tail to get himself back under control. He was falling behind quite sharply. Now we can see, look at that lead. Cut down more than half.
Yeah, Xiao he hasn't used his second Doom yet. They don't have a courier. Looks like he will be able to pick up a haste rune on top too. So No Tail. Oh, there's a relocate.
Coming in, and No Tail turned tail that time. Got away quickly. Rabbit's going to dive it. There's the Doom on the fly. No Tail hooked up with Yao. Focusing on other targets. Trixie's there with the Sprout to buy time. Trixie has bailed so many people out this game. And that aggression, once again, will be halted. And Rubik denied again. So a nice deny from Trixie. And Trixie's a one-man team right now. I mean, the rest of Fnatic doing what they can, but Trixie is the one person holding this game together. Demon now caught out up at top. And DDC, got to be careful. He's going to end up dead for no reason. Barely makes it away. As Zhao rotated up and used the plasma field for that last extra bit of damage.
Yeah, not really sure what Demon was doing out there by himself in enemy territory with not even enough mana to TP out. But yeah, Trixie has just been keeping them in the game. 2-0-0 on him, almost has his Midas complete and phase, and just been active everywhere, saving people, denying people. He's been playing phenomenally.
And No Tail finally gets his treads done. 9.5 minutes in, he's nowhere near where he wants or even needs to be. 33-14, and Razor at 29-14. So even though he has made up some ground, it's just been rough going. That kill in mid helped him so much, allowed him to close that gap. But they need him to be a big factor coming up in the next 10 minutes. So far, the laning phase is yet to break down in any real way, though.
They want to relocate on bottom. I saw a ping out. And Owie, he has to be very, very careful.
Here it comes. AUI caught out. There's the open wounds. And going to spin the split earth, but spinning it on a Rage Lifestealer. Not the most efficient use of mana. 7-3. LGD continuing to build on that lead.
He can't be caught out alone. The supports can't be that far out. Trixie, even if he TPs in, isn't going to be able to save him. He'd probably die too. So they just have to be a little bit more careful about where they position themselves around the map. Yao.
Nice executed gank. Trixie came in. They had fly behind for support. DD moved in, as did DDC, but tardy to the party and unable to save their buddy. Fnatic is continuing to just hang around this game, and that's all they need to do to give themselves a chance to win. LGD is going to start to feel the pressure to execute very, very soon.
Yeah, LGD, I mean, once they get relocate ganks on important heroes, though, like Nature's Prophet and OD, Fnatic's going to be in a lot of trouble. So it's really up to them. Can they protect these heroes? Can they get their farm up without incurring too many losses? Are they going to be able to keep Lifestealer down, too? and Razor. Razor had a phenomenal start, 0-3 on him though, very surprisingly, and that's just due to fantastic rotation from Trixie.
Yep. Speaking of Trixie, sitting in the jungle with a fresh hand of Midas, so his race up the ladder well underway, and LGD currently seems quite happy to just sit back and farm. Rabbit has decided to go with phase drums, no real departure there, and we'll see what he wants to tack on to it next. But phase drums is oftentimes enough to get a lifestealer completely involved. Instead of just coming to kills or coming to fights and then farming, you can just start to dedicate him if you want to. At this point, though, LGD, I mean, they're pretty geared for mid-game aggression and wanting to win in the mid-game. They went Vanguard on Zhao 8. Yeah,
I'm surprised he didn't pick it up with mech. That would have been very useful for his team, especially combined with a Wisp.
And Earth Splitter on the mark. Trixie's there to help out. Here comes the rest of the troops, though. Demon in trouble. Ends up dropping, and Fnatic has to be careful. They've given up 2, and now No-Tail's been doomed. Yao right behind him, and a nice frostbite on the AUI. That might be enough to allow him to pursue down both. Down goes one, and AUI killed before he can make it to the high ground. And just like that, Yao, who had a phenomenal start and managed to get behind again, is right back to even. 3-3-2, and what should have been a nice solo kill for Fnatic turns into a triple kill for Razor.
Demon trying to get a kill on DD.
And DD gonna frostbite him. Here comes Rabbit using the open wound, just buying time. No, they do manage to get him. Trixie once again where he needs to be, and Rabbit will be able to make it away before the damage could bring him down. 5-11. LGD continues to lead this game quite considerably. But again, Fnatic not about to go quietly into the night. They're hanging around as best they can, trailing 3,500 gold though.
I'm so surprised that they picked Elder Titan, especially when they put him in this role. I totally thought that they were going to put him solo mid versus Razor, try and get him farmed up with high-level natural order, and then start fighting from there. But him being in the tri-lane was just a disaster in the early game. Demon sitting at 0-4 right now, just unable to get any sort of items up. He has Soul Ring and Bracer, but still, come mid-game, he is just going to die to just a few hits from the lifestealer. So I'm surprised that they didn't go with something like a Gyrocopter, let's say, who's still useful without items and can pack quite the punch. He also has much larger range and just better AoE, or someone who can, and he can come back through Ancient Stacks. Elder Titan has no such comeback mechanic.
The UI hooking up with No-Tail in mid. They're going to try to catch Yao asleep at the wheel. Not going to be possible. Trixie does TP in though. They want to push this tower. LGD not very fast in reacting. They will pop the glyph, and we'll see how much they want to send in terms of personnel.
Is under attack.
Down to about
this could be a disaster for them. If like Doom TP's in and then relocate from behind with Lifestealer, they are just absolutely screwed. They have to be very careful about when and where they choose their fights.
Up the top, we can see DDC still hanging out with Rabbit. And there's an imprison. On to DD. DD in trouble. No-Tail will be able to help find a kill, and behind the fight, it rages. AUI going to be cleaned up. The Earth Splitter on the mark, but Yao killed off once again, but No-Tail likely to be tracked down. Doom on cooldown, and trying to block him off. Unfortunately, the Infest range too great. They managed to make it a 3-for-2, and what looked like it could have been one of the better fights they had turns into another bad exchange, and open wounds onto the illusion. Not going to help Rabbit track down Demon, so once again, LGD back in a position of doubling up their opponents. Trixie, though, going elsewhere and has his phase plus another 1,800 gold. He's beginning to find his farm very effectively.
There still has been no towers taken down this game. 3,000 gold lead for LGD, 7 kill advantage for them. XP about 3,000 for LGD too, and they're making very good use of the Wisp though, almost always being able to find a kill. And TDC has not yet died yet this game, even after coming under a lot of pressure after he relocates in.
Zhao just continuing to farm. He's got 1,300 gold to go with his Drums Vanguard, so
Dire's
a very
mobile,
very survivable Doom build coming out of him. Soul Ring out on Demon, has about 1,000 gold aside if he wants to get a set of drums. In the meantime, yep, there's a smoke. Was going to say, this is a time when Fnatic needs to start trying to make something happen. LGD, because they have secured such a lead without even having to commit to towers, is in a great position to take this game late if they so desire. And Fnatic going to try to find someone fishing down the bottom. And it looks like Zhao 8's going to be a very ripe target.
Radiant's top tower
thinking about moving in.
Attack.
He's going to cut through the jungle and right into them. And there's the Doom onto him. He's trying to make a run. Demon doomed out, but the damage output too high. No reaction coming, and that's going to be an armlet done on Rabbit in the meantime.
That was a very aggressive move. Walking into the jungle alone, I guess you can kind of rely on relocate support, but you don't want to turn a 1-on-4 into a 3-on-4. You're still going to lose that fight, even with an early Doom on Demon.
At the top, Tier 1 might be the first tower we see drop. There's a glyph. TP in and flies. Has support coming in. See what he snagged. Managed to get Rage. Not a bad survivability ability for a really good player to steal. And the deny. Once again, Trixie to the rescue.
They're going for no-tail right now. DD looking to frostbite him in place so they can relocate.
And there's the Astral Imprison. No-tail going to try to get away quickly as he can, and will be able to do so. Stomps there, and Demon is going to throw the Earth Splitter. Demon's going to end up dead because of it. They clean up DD in the meantime, but Rabbit not done going to work. Now banging away on Fly. Will infest in and out. Is that enough to keep him alive? Has his armlet toggled. Here comes Doom. Xiao throws the level death on the AUI. In the meantime, this Tier 1 mid being banged away. Finally, we see a tower brought down by enemy forces as Razor takes that, but No-Tail drops the hammer and gets the kill on Rabbit, and a triple kill out of him. And Trixie, once again, in position. Xiao could be next on the list, but with 2 TPs coming in, he'll survive. Just like that, Fnatic, though they lose a tower, makes up a lot of ground in terms of levels and kills.
That was huge for Fnatic right there. OD was kind of on the back foot until that point, and just being able to kill Lifestealer, force a buyback out of him too. Now he only has 100 gold. He has phase boots, drums, and armlet, and they were like getting to that point where they were about to run away with the game and just take complete control of the map, take out Roshan, take on the bottom T1, take control of their jungle, but all that has been halted with 1 Sanity's Eclipse.
Well played. Coming out of No-Tail, the transplant into mid, out of his natural positions. And just like that, it feels like a brand new game. The gold gap hasn't really been reduced already, but the experience gap has.
Yeah, it doesn't take into account the buyback, buyback from No-Tail, or from Rabbit rather.
Yep. And we can see a smoke underway. They're moving down towards bottom. Nobody's home though. Everyone from Fnatic elsewhere. Yeah,
they're at a 2-tower disadvantage right now, and with a buyback gold, the gold graph is actually roughly even if you take the towers into account. So, yeah, Fnatic, they were like getting LGD had like double Fnatic's kills, but they got right back in the game. Demon's still working on something. He has a Staff of Wizardry. Maybe he wants to get a 4-staff so he can save his butt from constantly being chewed down by Rabbit.
Radiant's bottom tower
down at bottom.
Under attack.
Here we go. No-Tail's there with the
Radiant's bottom tower
Banish, and Yao now using his last as best he can. Rabbit's there to help out off the relocate. No-Tail going to be chopped down. In the meantime, Yao, pursued by Trixie, will be able to make it away. And a 3-hero exchange going the way of LGD that time around. And that's just the danger of trying to dive towers or do much of anything dive-wise and aggression-wise whenever you have an IO on the map with a Lifestealer who's going to be ready to come to any fight.
Yeah, the Rubik was not in a good position over there. He was like sitting down behind the tower alone. He tried to spell steal from Doom, but actually got Frost Armor, which is probably one of the most useless spells he can steal out of the whole entire team. So things were just not set up to be going well from the get-go. And they had like a couple heroes TP in, but it was too late with the Doom, with the relocate. They had 5 there almost instantly and just rolled over Fnatic. LGD's in a very, very good position to take out Roshan right now. Do they have a mech up? Yes, they have one on Razor. He's going for a Scepter build after. And, I mean, Doom's pretty far right now. He's very tanky. It looks like he's going for Shiva's or an AC next, but he might die.
Lit Earth off the mark. Trixie's there, but he ends up putting him in the Thunderdome with him. And Xiao able to TP away before the stomp can come out from No-Tail. Or from Demon, rather. And at 20 minutes in, it really felt like Fnatic had turned things around. But a missed opportunity there, and this game continues to slip further and further out of their reach. Rabbit already, when he has his armlet toggle, 2100 HP with an armlet, set of drums, phase, and a Sange already added to his inventory as well. No-Tail does have his 4-staff up, and he is hurting for any other secondary item past that.
LGD's lineup is a lot easier to execute too. Like Fnatic, they have to dodge relocate ganks, they have to work around Doom, they have to Fly's just going to get picked off here.
Yep.
They have to deal with like a Razor just running into them, who's very tanky and can sap all of your carry's damage away. And it's just not easy at all for Fnatic. They're trying their best, but LGD's lineup is just much more in your face. Hey, we have a Rage Lifestealer. What are you going to do about it? We have a Razor who's stealing all your damage. You have one of your heroes doomed. If you want to fight, you're gonna die. And I mean, they've just been trading very poorly in each of the exchanges in the last 5 minutes.
LGD beginning to hook up now in this bottom lane. They've got Zhao 8 running point man along with DD getting in position behind the tower. You can see the very aggressive ward placement right here on the ridge, keeping an eye on everything going on in that area. And they're going to go ahead and try and bait another fight. In the meantime, up at top, No-Tail and Trix here in no position to
Radiant's
come.
bottom tower.
And here we go. Rabbit's going to run him down. Demon Frost bitten down and blown up immediately. Fly next on the list. And that was just an absolute massacre. And they're going to take a tier 2 out of it. Up at top, Trixie's come back, but a TPN will keep this tier 1 still standing as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is
there's a relocate.
Up at top, here we go. Nice Sprout to lock them out. No stun, so he'll be able to make it away. Doesn't look like No-Tail's going to be quite so lucky. Doom down and pursued out. Rabbit there to help secure the kill along with Io.
Fnatic's just getting caught out with like 2 or 3 at times. They had 3 people down here. Demon instantly dies as well as one more. And DD actually is in a lot of trouble in mid. Looks like Trixie will get a free kill. Doing everything he can to try and keep this game in reach. One auto attack will bring him down. Now the return though, and here comes DDC and Rabbit. There's a Sprout off the mark. Shot it blind. Can they blow him up fast enough? They cannot. Trixie able to teleport back home
is under attack.
just by the whiskers of his chin. Nonetheless, it's a Necro build coming out of the Nature's Prophet. He's already up to book 3. Don't know that it's going to be enough, though. Nearly 10,000 gold advantage going the way of LGD, and really map control just beginning to feel unquestionably theirs. Yep. Crystal Maiden has their 4-step up now. Doom has his Shiva's item just rolling in for LGD. Lifestealer has his SNY right now, and they can do Roshan, get an Aegis on Lifestealer, and then I'm pretty sure they can just roll over Fnatic as 5. They don't really have an answer to them right now. OD is nowhere near farmed enough. He doesn't have a Sheep Stick yet, which he definitely needs. Nature's Prophet, he has his Necro 3, but he's pretty much the only farmed hero on Fnatic. They need Ghost Scepters on their carries, or sorry, on their supports, so they can deal with the Razor and the Lifestealer. They need probably a Pipe too, so they can deal with the Doom, and looks like Demon's going to die yet again. Caught from behind with the open wounds, and Rabbit takes himself another kill. He's sitting at 5 and 2. Trixie really the one making the plays across the map. As you can see, he's split pushing bottom tier 1, but he can't do it alone. He's at 5 and 1, 5 and 2 for Rabbit, 4 and 1
Dire's
for
bottom
DDC.
tower has fallen.
4 and 4 on DD. And really trading away a tier 1 at this point. Don't think they're going to mind that. DDC is actually fairly tanky for Io already at 1,200 HP already.
I mean, all of LGD is really tanky right now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant
just about to drop. They're going to go ahead and send some support down the bottom. Trixie goes to Sprout out, and they're trying to pursue him. Can they find him? Nope, don't have the damage. Oh, they managed to get him. Nice Shiva's used by Xiao 8 to gain vision so he can interrupt it with level death, and then after the Sprout goes down, interrupts it with Ward Stomp. Nice play by Xiao 8 there. Very well played. And Trixie again, really the one trying to hold it together. Can't do it alone, especially with Razor now having a BKB. And just he is trying his damn best, though. Oh, he is. Trixie's played a great game, but I think this is what we expected. Moving now into the Roshan pit. Most likely going to be the moment that secures a win for LGD unless Fnatic finds themselves a miracle. And, I mean, at this point, I mean, you're going to see the alert. I mean, do you know this is going on? Or if you do, can you even challenge this? You cannot challenge it. Right. Their 5-on-5 is just way weaker than LGD's. And they have 4 staffs, but it doesn't actually prevent that much damage from coming out. And LGD just has so much damage. Like, they don't have any solution for the Lifestealer. They don't have any solution for the Doombringer. They have no solution for the Razor. You can, like, kite them a little bit, but you're going to leave the heroes who don't get force staffed just behind and left out to dry and die. And Rabbit and DDC making their way up the top. They have a target in mind. That's AUI. And he is once again in no man's land immediately. Goes to teleport and will be able to make it away. Good reaction from him.
They could try to pick a fight mid, even though it looks like a 3-on-5 or potentially a 3-on-5. There's the relocate. They can come at any time, so they have to be extremely, extremely careful. Xiao 8 just he is not scared at all. 2200 HP, 19 armor, with a Vanguard 2 and a ton of boost speed. He is just so incredibly difficult to kill. And who do you focus if you're Fnatic? They try to focus the EO. He only has one death this game. His positioning has been very, very good, and he's just not been caught by splitters, not been caught by sending these eclipse very often. And he's safe in the back, overcharging people.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Another nice snipe from Trixie, trying to keep the game at mid-game and reasonable. LGD has other things in mind, as the last remaining outer tier tower will end up falling here. GD actually takes a bit of damage, but does manage to get back into fighting shape via the mech. But yeah, no map control left for them whatsoever, and LGD basically could take this game at their leisure.
Yes, they can. They still have another 4.5 minutes time, or sorry, 4 minutes time until the H6 expires. Site looks like it's been picked up by LGD2, so no sneaking around for anybody. Nature's Prophet, he is somewhat close to sight for the fights, I guess, just because of the extreme rate that he's been farming. And he gets a tower too. So now the tower count is 3-6. Gold graph. 12,000 in favor of LGD2.
Nice relocate into the secret shop, managing to snag out AUI, who had the misfortune of walking past this ward on his way in. And the kills continuing to pile up. Trixie, book 3, 2,700 gold in the bank. And at this point, I'm just waiting on LGD to decide it's time to go 5-man.
Yep, they don't really have that much pressure. They just need to kill Fury out once or twice so he doesn't get out of control, and then just starve out Fnatic from there. I mean, even if Trixie does get farmed, they can always just do him during fights.
I really love the ward placement that we've seen out of LGD, just to make these relocate ganks much more opportunistic here, and especially this one that allowed them to kill the Rubik. And, you know, with him dying there, I mean, if you're Fly, you're telling your team, all right, we need to either counter ward and spend gold to do that, or just don't go there. Dragons live there.
Yep, that's when you fly the courier over to trees.
With me.
And LGD continuing to just farm away. I mean, the items are just so big. Already an Ogre Club out, Xiao 8, if he's going for a BKB, has enough for the Mithril Hammer. Only about another 1,000 gold or so needed to bring out his own BKB. And Trixie at this point, I mean, if you're Trixie, what's the item build? I mean, you're the best hope your team has. Do you just go pure right-click and hope for the best?
Yeah, I mean, they can't really do anything versus the BKB, though. They just don't have any damage. I mean, they have some light damage from
Fly. Gonna be caught out. DD might end up dying, but nope, Yao's there. Mechanism in position. Relocate a little late, or they would have gotten AUI as well, but I'm sure they'll go ahead and take the one.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures
These
are
poor
fortified.
supports on the side of Fnatic, they have 4 stats, but they still just can't do anything.
Dire's bottom tower has
kill,
fallen.
as Rabbit and DDC are a little late getting to bottom. And, you know, I mean, again, this is just the influence that Nature's Prophet has. Every time they teleport somewhere, he decides to push a tower.
Doom has a blink dagger now, too. That's just going to make it that much easier for him to kill Trixie. They have to kill Trixie, though. He's pretty much the only one that's giving like some semblance of a problem.
And they're taking it pretty seriously. Again, continuing to play in a surprisingly, startlingly defensive position thus far, just taking pot shots with relocate when they can. Xiao 8, the only one who's playing like he's ahead as far as he is. Sitting on the other side of the map now, he'll be joined by DD. But in fairness, Fnatic has managed to stop the bleeding. They haven't managed to cauterize the wound as yet, but they're at least keeping things on even keel.
Yep, Xiao 8 looking for anyone to pop out in mid lane. They have 2 observer wards set up very aggressively. One is secret shot, one above the opponent's cliff, right outside that mid T3. And Trixie, trying to farm his whole team, is backing him up. He's very close to Sheep. Oh, wow, there's already a Sheep on OD too. I thought he was super underfarmed, but with 2 Sheeps coming out, they could actually get a lot of work done.
Yeah, OD able to play catch-up fairly well. We can see he's not particularly high on the net worth. But the problem really is Rabbit. I mean, you can say, yeah, 2 Sheeps coming out, that's nice. Rabbit, though, is absolutely monstrously huge at this point. And with the Blink Dagger on Doom, up, here we go, no tail. Doomed out, got way too close, and cleaned up. Now Demon, next on the list, is being blown apart. Trixie's there to try and help out, but LGD in the meantime, able to just assert their will behind the tier 3 with little to no reprisal.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Behind it, Trixie summoning some
middle
treants,
tower is under attack.
doing what he can to try to delay this, but the right click is way too large. Well shot splitter at that time. Tier 3 does end up dropping what might as well be free, though. And with no no-tail, I don't know that they can stop this. And here we go. Zhao 8 went for it, blinked in. He's going to be telekinesis back. Splitter is there, Earth Splitter off the mark, but Zhao 8 very low. And here comes Trixie again, caught 2 with the Sprout. Do they have the damage? Yao able to scoot his way down to the low ground and reset. They're going to go ahead and sell out and manage to get it. They just don't have the damage. Fly manages to secure a kill using Plasma Field, which he stole from Yao. But trading 2 heroes for a full set of racks, willing to bet LGD is going to be happy with that exchange.
Yao has an Abyssal and 2,400 gold to boot, and now they're actually, they actually have 2 sides of ice, but even if they sight someone, how are they going to kill them that fast? Who does the damage on Fnatic? I guess OD does a decent amount.
Warriors of the
15 to
wood.
28, a 32-minute game, and the first set of racks dropping mere moments ago. Right around 12,000 gold, the advantage for LGD. Again, we've been hovering in this range for a while now, and Fnatic doing what they need to do. They're not going to get back into
Desperation smoke.
Yep. They're not going to get back into it, trying to sit back and farm. And they're going to go straight away to try and find someone in the jungle. Rabbit could be the next target. He's spotted by a Treant. Can they get there in time? They've got help. Trixie's not far away, and they are going to manage to catch him. Scythed out. Here comes Trixie to try and help out, but not even needed. That's a big kill for them, and he's down for 80 seconds now.
Very big kill for them. And that's his unstoppable streak too. Although it's only going to Rubik, he is that much closer to his Ghost Scepter. But I mean, this lifesteal is just so many issues for them right now.
Looks like they want to try and take a tier 2 off of it. They've got positioning. DD's there, as is Zhao 8 to contest it. Yao making his way over now. And they're going to go ahead and move towards Roshan, hoping to catch someone in the river. They're smoked up. DD's going to spot Fly. And 4 staffs his way to safety, knowing then was not the time to try and take a fight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
To Fnatic, if they can try to bring this tower down. As LGD has already shown, they're not really willing to fight as it is.
Rabbit could potentially buy back and just make this fight a disaster for Fnatic, but doesn't need to take that risk right now.
And there's a sides on the DDC. 4 staff, a little bit late. And 2 down, still 15 seconds until the lifesteal is back up. DDC down for 50. They can drop towers quick if they get the space to do so because of Edict. And they will bring down a tier 3 in mid at the very minimum. Big turnaround from Fnatic. There's Zhao 8 though, managing to doom out No-Tail. No-Tail 4 staff to safely. Earth Splitter is there and caught 3. But Aoi tracked down from behind. In the meantime, Demon pursued out as well. Rabbit's there with Yao to make it a double kill. And Trixie in some trouble. Will end up dead. So Fnatic overstaying their welcome just a bit. They took the tier 3, could have fallen back cleanly. Instead, they feed a bunch back, and LGD makes up some ground.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea by them, but as soon as Lifestealer is revived, they should just back off. Lifestealer is just way too strong compared to a lot of the heroes. And yeah, Sheep Block will do okay, but then he'll just heal back up if you don't kill him within that very, very brief time frame. Yes, 700 HP with 15 armor. And Fnatic, I guess OD could take him down if he were more farm, but he is not.
Taking a look at OD, as you mentioned, farm-wise. He's sitting at just about 12,500. Compare that to the nearly double of the Lifestealer. He's already got the Abyssal and Sanjin Yasha, as you mentioned, but what's even more startling is he's managed to amass a bunch of gold, and they're going to try to get some more here in mid. Fly going to be caught out and utterly blown up. And LGD continuing to take advantage of that. They're just going to go ahead and send them both back elsewhere. And let's see. Roshan, oh, this is going to be so good for them if they hang around just a little longer. They check it, but Roche is going to respawn in just a matter of seconds.
They're patient. They have time. There it goes. They're walking in.
Yep, perfect time. And Rabbit, 4,100 gold in his inventory. What do you think he's going to do?
Rabbit? Not sure. Not sure.
Roach down to about half health.
He could go Heaven's Halberd, Manta.
Yep.
But we don't see that very often. He could just go Heart. Fnatic doesn't really have anything that can cope with that.
has fallen to the dire.
Will be a... He's waiting. Just sold off. Yep. And it will be a Reaver pickup, so most likely, yep, it will be a Heart. Just tanking himself up. And Fnatic might be down to their last moments here in the upper bracket. As the second Aegis in the game manages to go to LGD once again.
Do you like Wisp's unit responses?
Oh, you got, how do you not? It's Star Trek, dude. I'm a Star Trek fan. And speaking of Wisp, DDC has managed to find a fair amount of farm himself. He's got a BKB of Vladimir's offering and an Urn of Shadows, so sitting at 5, 2, and 17. He's been involved in a lot of kills, but more importantly, he's managed to not die himself. And Trixie, playing hide and seek out of the jungle, will try to use his treants to push. No-Tail's making his way up there with 2,700 gold of his own in the bank.
Yep, there's a Heart. 3,700 HP with Armlet toggled with Aegis.
Yep.
Like, there's just no way they're going to burn through him. Yeah, you can sheep him, but you don't have any damage to kill him until Rage. And if he rages and open wounds, he's just going to lifesteal like 1,000 HP right back up.
Yep. He's playing 2012 Spirit Band. Permanent toggle on the armor.
Why not?
Exactly. Remember how broken that was. Yao with his scepter up, 2,800 gold to boot. BKB, just BKBs across the board. One on Zhao, one on Yao, one on DDC. Built-in BKB on Rabbit. And what surprised me at all to see if DD had one on the Courier. Nope, he's actually got an ultimate orb on the way.
I hear them yelling. They want to do something.
Yeah,
is that going to be an issue when VG and LGD play against each other?
Just yelling all the time.
Well, they can actually understand each other.
I'm sure we'll have headsets in place for such eventualities. Pretty sure we do already.
Xiaobai has been sitting on the same items for quite some time now. He has not been able to find that much farm.
I mean, at this point, he does his job, though. He's tanky, he's survivable. He's going to get Doom off. He has a VKB. He has mobility. Has the ability to use his Shivas to just manage these fights as a whole. I don't know if there's a whole lot more than he needs. Just giving farm priority instead to his teammates. No-Tail, in the meantime, sitting at about 3,300 gold. If you're Fnatic, you know you're pretty damn far behind here. And this game beginning to drag out, and you have to suspect LGD's just getting further and further ahead, which is the case, as we can see.
Yeah, everyone's just tanking up. Yao has a Reaver too. And
Trixie, caught out, blown up. Will be able to get the Sprout off, but not enough to save his life. Rabbit comes out. Again, permanent toggle. That's Prophet is down for 65 seconds now. And no way Fnatic can really hope to engage. And it looks like they might finally be ready to push as Yao's beginning to push this wave in and bottom.
Yeah, I think Trixie's going to be forced to buy back. And if he dies one more time, this could be the end of Fnatic in the series.
Rabbit leading the charge, as one does, as you do when you have 3,800 HP. And managed to have something stolen from him.
Infest Bomb.
Yeah, got the Infest. Not terrible. Just waiting on creeps now, running a little contain as DD and Zhao 8 eye the midmost entrance to the fortress. And here we go. Phasing uphill, big spawn, and just gonna rage right through the splitter. Continuing to just hack away at this tower. Using the stomp to try and buy some time. Earth Splitter's there, and it will manage to catch a couple, but BKBs are activated. And they're going to chase them back away from their own tower. Or what was their own tower. Just really, they have no ability to fight right now. They do get the Scythe of Vice on Rabbit. Nice Splitter to follow it up. They're going to be able to get the Aegis. And in the meantime, though, they've lost yet another set of rags. And Rabbit immediately scythed out again. Do they have the right click? Going to work on him. There's a Sanity's Eclipse that accomplishes next to nothing. And meching through it. Now they're on the run, though. Demon doing what he can with the stomp. Trixie being pursued all the way back to the well. In the meantime, Yao is on a dominating streak. And they're managing to hold serve okay. No-Tail, though, caught out of his own well. And down goes Demon. Down goes Fly. Buybacks aplenty. That's 3 spent just to try and hold. But the Rax is already down. They're going to be able to get Zhao 8 all said and done. But again, that's a trade they're going to be willing to make. A nice Sprout blocking them in. Rabbit forced to engage, and the defensive Astral Imprisonment buys some time, but sacrifices his own teammate. AUI forced to turn around, and No Tail unable to make it to the high ground. Will ends up dead as well, and Trixie forced to TP away. 2 cheeky Sprouts, still not enough. That's 3 down to the 2 of LGD. And now AUI about to make it 4.
Radiant's middle tower is under
and
attack.
LGD putting the nail in the coffin of this game 2.
Yeah, this game's just ugly. LGD just got too far ahead a little bit too early, and Fnatic just does not have any damage. They have the disables through the sheeps, but it just takes way too long for them to kill anyone. They can't burst anyone down before the relocate comes in. And Life Stealer with the Aegis, they can kill him once, they can't kill him twice though. Rabbit 5,500 gold after this though, and Trixie, he did play his best. He kept him in the game. This game would have ended like 15 minutes earlier had he not played so well in the early game.
Oh, absolutely. And we can see they're still a holding court, man. They are not willing to give this up without a fight. 2 sets of racks down. And LGD forced to pull back and lick their wounds a bit. We'll find out when Roche is going to respond in just a couple of minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes time. Yeah, he could just go Refresher and just go Siege of Towers, though.
See Rabbit with a Hyperstone on the way, one would imagine. That'll be, yep, part of an Assault Cure Ass, and it's done already. Actually, just basically one-shot bought an Assault Cure Ass. DD, still with that Ultimate Orb, hasn't shown us anything else. Yao is tanked up considerably, getting a heart of his own. Like the Tin Man.
Mass hearts. So nice.
I mean, if you're in Fnatic's shoes here, Ben, like, is there any realistic hope of coming back, or is this just kind of going through the motions?
I mean, they used everything that they had. I think they used 4 buybacks last fight, too. So realistically, no. Maybe? No. It's a long shot.
Moving down through top lane now. See DD going hunting.
They only used 3 buybacks. Looks like Nature's Prophet, OD, as well as Leshrac. Oh, no, they used 4. Yep. Leshrac and ET. So that's pretty much, they gave everything that they could with 9 lives.
Here we go. Make a run at the tower, and able to do so quite conveniently. Down it goes, and the Rage and Doom on the No-Tail. He's 4-staffed away, not going to be enough as he's blown up. And now AUI 4-staffed to safety as well. Doom's right on his heels. And Trixie caught out and stunned. Can they get the kill? Demon eating a lot of damage in the meantime. Zhao 8 being killed by the tower. He does manage to make it away in the meantime. Rabbit gets a triple kill, and that'll be a GG. As Rabbit with the infest in the opponent's well, managing to seal the deal and wipe out all 5. And finally, after a multitude of delays, after 5 games spread across 2 best-of-3s, our playoff picture, our grand finals picture, has a shape and a face. It involves Fnatic taking on Alliance, coming up in our last series of the night with one of those teams being eliminated afterwards. LGD advances to the upper bracket finals where they'll face Vici Gaming for a spot in our grand finals tomorrow. Great games, and really, I mean, you don't want to make too big a thing of it because you don't want to take anything away from LGD, but I don't think there's any mistake. Fnatic did not feel like Fnatic today, missing 2 of their core 5 members.
Yeah, their draft was, again, slightly lackluster. The Elder Titan pick just didn't work out for them well at all. Elder Titan ended 1-12-9. He was just a liability in the top lane and just a liability for the rest of the game, too. He really doesn't have anything going for him with a relocate gank. He just, like, relocate gank and rage and kill him. He can't Echo Stomp. He can't do anything. He was forced to farm a 4-staff and a Ghost Scepter, and he still died in a couple of hits.
Really, Trixie is, you almost want to give him the MVP vote, because think about how quickly that game could have been over if it weren't for some major plays coming out of him. I mean, they were bordering on 6,000-7,000 gold down at like 10 minutes in, and Trixie helped turn that around, being able to split push, saving teammates, killing off, or getting kills, high-value kills, and killing the courier twice.
Yeah, getting denies too, getting towers, finding farm while helping his team. It was just really nice play from him.
Couldn't agree more. Looking down the rest of the list, we can see it was actually a really standout performance out of DDC. His IO play was phenomenal, involved in 34 of the 47 kills LGD tally. So across the board, a very nice performance. We're going to be throwing it back out in just a moment. Before we do, once again, guys, this sexy headset you're looking at right here, this is the new HyperX Made for Gamers headset, debuted here at CES, and this is what CES is all about, new technology. You can pre-order this right now on Newegg. You go check that out. And I'll tell you right now, I had a chance to try a pair on before. They are so ridiculously comfortable, my friend. Have you had a chance to try it on yet?
I have not.
You need to do that before our next series. It's like couches on your ears, and the sound quality is phenomenal. And again, it's exciting for us because this has made its debut as a part of the D2L finals, and HyperX obviously responsible in conjunction with Monster, Astro, and Razor for all of this that we managed to do all the way back to the group stages and on now to our grand finals. So make sure you head to Newegg and check that out, and check out all the other deals HyperX has going on in celebration of the D2L. Lots of discounts right now on solid-state drives as well as memory. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. So moving ahead, again, an elimination match going to be on the way. Fnatic going to be matching up against Alliance in a win or go home lower bracket, I guess you would call it semifinal? Yeah, lower bracket semifinal. Anyway, we'll throw it back out to Anna. She's there with the winners.
LGD! We're back here with Xiao8. Now, I know you said you prepared for all of the teams you're going to be facing. Ultimately, it looks like you were prepared for Fnatic. What do you think gave you the edge in these two matches, or these two games?
就是问你们这两局能取得胜利是因为哪些因素？
一个就是对手的人员不是很整齐吧，就临时找了替补，可能就是磨合的不够好。
I think that maybe it's because they're using two stand-ins, their opponents, so maybe they just don't have the teamwork down yet.
Yeah, the two stand-ins it looked like a challenge. So, you know, next you're continuing in the winner bracket. You're going to be facing off against VC Gaming. Do you feel prepared for them? Do you have anything special in store for them?
下一场你们打 VG 就是继续在胜者组嘛，然后有没有什么特殊的准备？
因为大家都是中国队伍，在中国都交涉很多，就互相都比较了解，所以就是具体的还要大家在一起讨论。
Because both teams are from China, so they're all relatively familiar with each other, often play against each other. So as for the specifics, they're gonna have to go back and talk about it more.
Well, there are a lot of Chinese fans in the audience, it seems. You're getting a lot of cheers and a lot of, cheers in Chinese. It's really exciting to be out here in the audience. How does that feel to have so much support, even though you're in a different country?
虽然来到拉斯维加斯在美国，但是场内还是有很多中国观众粉丝为你们加油，感觉怎么样？
感觉很亲切，很感谢各位这么远跑来看我们比赛。
He says it's great and really thanks everyone that came out to watch them.
That's great. Well, now we'll let you go, but you got to tell us, tonight are you going to just rest? Are you going to be practicing, or are you going to go enjoy Las Vegas?
就问你们待会儿晚上打算怎么办？就去吃饭啊，还是玩玩啊，还是回去准备休息？
先大家一起去吃饭，然后一起回酒店讨论怎么比赛，然后玩的话就是比赛结束以后再考虑怎么玩。
They're gonna go back and eat and then prepare for their next match and probably think about having fun or whatnot after everything's over.
Well, fair enough. Let's give another round of applause for these guys. Thank you so much. And don't go anywhere because we have match 3 coming up, which is going to be Alliance versus Fnatic after the break.